Are we finally in the era where Karen actually lets ZAC go? What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this one, we're going to talk about ZAC and Karen a little bit more. Throw some out. Okay, focus. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversations. We is coming back October 18th with another new episode of Our Sisters Keeper, live after the new episode of Sistas. Season 6 returns on October 18th, y'all. Be set and be ready because we gonna have a conversation, of course, about it. Now, jumping right into the topic of this video. Before we get into this video, I have to give you the disclaimer that this piece of content was created during the ZAC after 2023 strikes. And unfortunately, we have reached a climax in which the AMPTP has walked away from the negotiating tables, so it's very strenuous times. This piece of content is created as an act of journalism to critique the film or television series mentioned, not in support of the AMPTP or any other struck companies. However, standing alongside the amazing performers and creatives who have brought this piece of work to life. My company will continue to refuse any paid work from any struck companies as an act of solidarity. Recently, SAG-AFTRA has updated the public as well as their members with a notice posted on their Instagram, which you can read in full, but I will read in part before we jump back into this video. They say, "It is with profound disappointment that we report the industry CEOs have walked away from the bargaining table after refusing to counter our latest offer. We have negotiated with them in good faith, despite the fact that last week they presented an offer that was shockingly worth less than they proposed before the strike began. They refuse to protect performers from being replaced by AI. They refuse to increase your wages, as in the actors' wages, to keep up with inflation, and they refuse to share a tiny portion of the immense revenue the actors' works generate for them. The SAG-AFTRA have made big and meaningful counters on their end, including completely transforming their originally proposed revenue share proposal, which would cost the companies less than 57 cents per subscriber each year. Streaming continues to be a huge sticking point, particularly that the streamers are keeping most of the revenue and not actually passing on profitability to the creatives and the performers in the actual work. If you want more details on what is actually happening, I have links in the description box down below, and you can also follow my journey as I go out to the picket lines and I post on my Instagram at ericavane.com as I continue to stand in solidarity." Now, let's get back to the video. It's such an interesting thing to continue to discuss because I feel like we had so many great moments already, at least two, right? Where there was clear communication, there was seemingly closure, there was a decision to like move on and move forward positively, and then something happens that sends either Karen or ZAC or both of them reeling and responding, reacting in a way that puts us back into the toxic cycle of like release. And yes, for the most part, it has been, in most recent seasons, it has been Karen really doing that loop and doing that circle of like, I don't want him, but then I do want him. I don't want him, but I do want him. And part of that, you know, her hormones are definitely to blame because she's pregnant. But let's not forget, y'all, early on in the damn series, this was ZAC, okay? This was ZAC on his damn bike, stalking this girl, popping up, doing all types of stuff, begging for her to not get too serious with somebody else and just wait for him.
Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you just take it slow with Buddy, please?
All of y'all like to forget because, you know, little Miss Fatima that popped up on the scene, but like that was real. It happened, okay? So when I talk about ZAC and Karen, I always have the full context, even though some people like to act like a whole part of the series never even happened. And I do think, and this is not trying to make excuses for Karen at all, but I do think that the pregnancy plays a role in a lot of the emotional responses that we have seen. And then also, y'all, in watching both Sistas and Fatima, seeing how ZAC operates, really watching ZAC start to unpack and display his childhood trauma And then we get to see how his trauma is manifested within not only his relationship with Fatima, but then you can also put two and two together of how it actually manifested before with Karen, and then how it's manifesting now with the gaslighting that's unintentional, with just how he's carrying certain things. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, I don't think that we can fully blame Karen 100% and not being able to fully let go. When you think about the gravity of the relationship that they sustained for 3 years, the investment that was made over 3 years, and the attachment emotionally that was cultivated over that amount of time within these people, that's a little bit hard to just walk away from. And then you add a baby onto it, that like heightens everything. I know it seems like it's the best thing or it's the easiest thing for her to just move on, but the people who are really just screaming that tell me that you really haven't known love. Like love. Like, I love this person more than I love myself kind of love. Like, toxic as hell. I don't know myself as well as I know this person kind of love. Because that, I think, is what allows for the circumstances that we see play out with Karen to play out the way that they do. I've spoken at length in multiple videos about how I relate to Karen and how I dated a ZAC, literally. I have so much more understanding and empathy for my ZAC than the one that we're seeing play out on the screen, because at some point you need to damn do better when you have been afforded so many outs in ways. Like the way that Tyler Perry literally gifted you $1 million to start over and you still run around doing goofy and barely in therapy is beyond me, but this isn't a video about that. I think that we are now on the precipice of Karen actually being able to move on. One, because I'm hoping that Tyler has read the room, and then the new writers for season 7 have read the room and realized that we're all tired of the back and forth, that they have really, or he has really exhausted this whole Karen is crazy, Karen is delusional storyline. Even though I am still very, very appreciative for it, because being a woman who has been in a similar situation, who has loved as hard as Karen has, who has done quite a few of the things that Karen has done, and experienced some of the things that were done to her from this man, I appreciate it because it was really validating in some of my emotions and some of my reactions in the moment that might have seemed crazy, but definitely seemed fucking warranted when you feel like somebody's playing with your heart. Okay. But like I was saying, I think that we're arriving at a point where Tyler realizes that he didn't already, ran this well dry. And then also it's time to move forward in reference to the time. In the trailer as well as the teaser for the second half of season 6, we get to see Karen talking to Andi about how she doesn't want to do this alone, and Andi reassures her that she doesn't have to do this alone. So there's clear there's amends being made with the friend group. And then we don't get any audio really, but we get a visual in the trailer of Karen going over to the duplex, talking to ZAC outside, and it looks like they have an amicable exchange. She's a little solemn as she leaves, but it looks like she's leaving at peace. Even if she's sad, she's looking like she's leaving at peace. And to me, it visually looks like, okay, I'm really going to go back to what I was saying before you decided to come up in Steam Plant and act a monkey ass fool, grabbing on me and trying to mollywop Aaron's ass all up and down that damn restaurant when I told you I wanted the best for you and I was going to try to move on and focus on Aaron, and then you wanted to act the monkey fool. I'm going to go back to that. That's what I'm picking up, y'all. I'm picking up that she's trying to go back to that, minus the Aaron part. I think that Karen is really about to try to go at this alone. I feel like she's about to go through a moment where she tells herself and maybe her girls that if she wants to get over ZAC, if she wants to get through this heartbreak, if she wants to turn this pregnancy around and make sure that she's doing more that's going to be healthy and positive, that she's going to need to do it by herself. And that's what, sparks the whole I don't want to do this alone. But I think that the second part of that is she's going to do what she got to do when she knows it, because that's the type of person that Karen is. That's the type of character that she is. She might kick and scream. She might get mad or frustrated. She might get super emotional, but at the end of the day, she's going to get the done. What needs to be done is going to get done, and I cannot wait to see it. So I do, again, believe that we're walking into a phase where we're actually seeing Karen fully release ZAC, regardless of what gaslighting she thinks that he's doing, regardless of if she has a nostalgic moment and feels reminded of the love that they used to have. Aside from like Fatima deciding to like feed in and try to antagonize her, which I feel like could provoke her to just try to do out of spite. But then also I feel like we're going into an era where Karen is realizing that she needs to release all of that like all of it is unhealthy. It don't matter what Fatima do. It don't matter what ZAC do. It don't matter what Andi do. It don't matter what none of these hoes do. Okay? This is not Baby Shark to do. That is hilarious to me. I'm sorry. Yes, I think that we're walking into a phase of Karen settling out, of her fully releasing ZAC, of her coming up with a game plan of what the rest of this pregnancy is going to look like, and what motherhood is going to look like, what she wants it to look like versus where she's at now. And then the rest of the season, and maybe season 7, is her taking those action steps to that. Now in season 7, I think that there's other suitors at her door, so she might want to be single. However, girl, you fine, you on your own business. There's gonna be plenty of men trying to scoop your ass up, and I cannot wait to see it. Now, in previous videos, I have definitely talked about how I cannot wait for ZAC and Karen to get to a place where they are just amicable, because regardless, I feel like they could have a very solid friendship if they put the romance bullshit and the pain aside. Do y'all think that they're capable of that? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. It's your good sis, you love to talk TV with. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I have a ton of other sisters related videos like this one that YouTube thinks is the best one for you to watch. And then I also did a video about if Fatima is actually pregnant. Get into one of those and let's keep the conversation going.